These stories are inspired by the actual case files of the Office of Scientific Investigation and Research.
What have you got?
Male, African-American. Gunshot wound twice in the chest.
Universal precaution, double glove. Can you hear me? Sir, can you hear
Vitals dropping fast. Respiration irregular.
Trauma 1 now. Guy got a name?
Rollins. Curtis Rollins.
Start a line and O2.
BP's dropping, 70 over 50, 60, 40.
Run some saline, prep a chest tube.
Pulse is thready, we're losing him.
Who's Rollins thinking of?
What's the difference?
Going up on the bridge all alone. No backup. It shouldn't have happened.
Ray, he's dying.
Flatline. Paddles. Up into 300. Charge. Clear.
Nothing.
Going again.
Stand by.
Clear. What's going on with the lights?
Lost main power. Switch to backup.
He's back.
Has anyone seen Curtis Rollins? Curtis Rollins, he was just brought in here. Anybody? Curtis. Curtis!
Is it possible for a spark of life to endure after death? It's difficult to dispute the multitude of testimonies from people who have been pronounced clinically dead and then are revived and claim to have undergone some form of out-of-body or afterlife experience. Did they discover the light? In the following case in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis-St. Paul, the OSIR confronted the most radical and dangerous manifestation of a near-death experience it has ever encountered.
Maintenance to the psych ward. Maintenance to the psych ward.
What's going on?
He's here.
Excuse me. Are you another cop or family?
Neither. Frank Helsinger, Director of Operations, OSIR. Sorry. Could you give us a minute?
Sure. Don't be too long.
What were you thinking? Shot twice? No official backup? No clearance from me? What happened last night?
I'd like to say you should see the other guy, but I can't remember who the other guy was.
Tell me everything. Omit nothing.
We were wrapping up a case in the North End, and Curtis got a call. He started acting strange.
He said something important had come up, and he left. Just like that. It's not like him, so Tash and I decided to follow him. We ended up at the bridge. We were a ways off. The guy shot Rollins twice, climbed up on the superstructure of the bridge, and he jumped.
Jumped? From how high?
30 meters at least.
He couldn't have survived.
I see. Anything else?
Go
on.
I could have sworn that I saw Rollins, well, or somebody who looked like him, walking out the door while Curtis was still in Trauma 1.
else see this?
I'm tired, and eyes are probably playing tricks on me.
Look, what's going on? I mean, what happened here tonight?
I just spoke briefly with James Kirkland from the Federal Serial Killers Profiling Unit. Rowan spent some time there a couple of years back.
Curtis was FBI?
Behavioral science. They tell me he was good.
Getting into the mind of a psycho. It's a hell of a thing to be good at. What's the connection?
Well, I'm sure you've all heard of the White Crow Killer.
Yeah.
From what we can piece together, the White Crow Killer was the man who shot Curtis Rollins last night.
Jim, didn't expect to see you here. I thought you'd be taking the kids to hockey practice.
Frank, it's been a while. How's Curtis?
Looks like he'll pull through.
How's his wife taking it?
She's doing as well as can be expected.
We informed her it's an internal matter, and she'll be brought in to see him as soon as we can clear up what happened.
Well, what happened?
The White Crow had been quiet for 2 years. And 2 bodies show up in the Twin Cities area over the past month. Curtis Rollins and the White Crow in the same town at the same time. Too much of a coincidence. Curtis likes to know the current status of the files he's worked on, so...
Are you sure it's the same killer as before?
Same scumbag victims, same telltale markings on the chest, same cause of death.
Induced cardiac arrest.
Followed by a single shot to the right temple after they were dead. The ballistics is double-checking. But those slugs they took out of Rollins last night?
9mm.
I'll lay 100 on the table. Right now, they match the slugs found in the White Crow Killer's victims. Maybe that bastard died when he fell off that bridge last night.
You found a body yet?
The current's pretty strong this time of year.
How did Rollins end up facing off with this maniac?
I don't know. He didn't tell you?
Not yet. He appears to be suffering from an extremely selective form of amnesia. We hope it's temporary.
Well, that's inconvenient.
I let Curtis down, Pete. Damn, I should have followed my instincts.
It's not your fault. Hey, pull over. Stop right here! What is it? Could have sworn. There. Curtis! Curtis! You saw him, right?
I don't know, maybe.
Where'd he go?
Couldn't have been Curtis. There's no way. Let's go.
There's only one way to prove that I'm not losing my mind. I don't believe this. I swear to you, we saw him outside on the street not half an hour ago.
Then you must be mistaken.
He hasn't left this room, Peter. I've been here the whole time.
Did you get the tape?
Yeah.
Is it cute?
Yeah.
All right, let's see it.
This tape is from hospital security.
Where are you going with this, Axon?
There, that's when I arrived. Now watch. There, freeze that. This videotape was taken at 10:54 p.m. last night. Curtis was still in Trauma 1 at that time.
Initial case log entry, file number 206132, case manager Connor Doyle. We've arrived at St. Paul, Minnesota to begin investigation into an unexplained occurrence involving a member of our organization. We'll be meeting with the Director of Operations for debriefing and directives as to how to proceed.
Connor, good to see you. Rollins has been shot. He was declared clinically dead, then he was revived, and is now thankfully recovering.
He also seems to be in 2 places at one time.
Apparently. Now, I've decided to assign Donahue to your team. What with Jim Kirkland and the feds still here, you're going to need a law enforcement specialist.
What about us?
What can we do to help?
You two can go back to wrapping out your original case. Doyle and his team will take it from here.
But we were the...
You are both witnesses, or potential witnesses. Let's face it, Axon. You're too close to this one.
I see. Sir.
Their contributions to an investigation are usually invaluable. Is Rollins aware of my presence on this case?
It's your investigation. He is your primary subject.
But he doesn't know.
I'll leave that for you to handle.
I heard you were being brought in.
How you feeling?
Like I got kicked in the chest by a horse.
I guess you get what you ask for.
I guess. So, someone who could be my twin is roaming around the Twin Cities.
First things first. What were you doing on that bridge?
Killer called me. I don't know how he found me, but it was him. He issued me some type of a challenge.
Why did he call you? Is that consistent with his pattern?
His pattern? His pattern?
Based on what you know about the White Crow killer, what might he do next?
I don't know. What's going on here, Doyle? Why can't I remember?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
How long was Curtis Rollins clinically dead?
Nearly a minute, I'd say.
And when you and Dr. Burr attempted to revive him, did anything unusual happen?
Something affected the electricity on our floor.
When exactly did this fluctuation occur?
When your friend was flatlining.
The White Crow killer case has been open for half a decade now. 5 bodies in and around Los Angeles. But the killer hadn't abducted a new victim or dumped a new body in almost 2 years. Last month, out of the blue, 2 new bodies.
Here in St. Paul.
Followed by the discovery of those same abduction victims dead.
Now, as a behavioral scientist, Curtis Rollins had assisted you in the investigation of the White Crow killer.
He was one of the best at tapping into the mind of a serial killer. He likened it to your mind being like a computer hard drive. You store information in a variety of files. The White Crow killer occupies one of those files in the mind of Curtis Rollins.
What kind of information was in that file?
How the killer thinks, what the killer wants, understanding his insanity.
It's a pleasant thought.
Well, some of those files, one that contained the profile of the killer, you can't erase them when you're done with them. You just try and close them and forget about them.
Now, there was always approximately a week between the day someone was abducted and when their body was discovered. What was the killer doing with the abductees?
Conducting some kind of medical experiments. There were strange markings in the chest, needle marks, IV puncture holes.
But to what end? Discover the light.
Curtis felt the killer was trying to discover some truth about the afterlife. Where we go when we die.
Case log update. While we wait for subject Curtis Rollins' MRI results, Hendricks will be taking him through regressive hypnosis to obtain a real-time description of the shooting and his subsequent experience in the emergency room.
I want you to go back to the night that you were shot. Approaching the bridge.
There. He's here.
Who?
The man who called me.
The White Crow killer?
It has to be. No one else would know.
Describe what happened next. What did you discover? Where do we go?
Where indeed?
I'm just glad to see we truly understand each other.
understand each other? How can knowledge of life after death be as important as life itself?
I know what I need to know.
What are you doing?
As a crow flies, I must end my journey. You want the answer, don't you? Goodbye, Curtis. I wish you luck.
I'm shot. Everything is going dark.
Curtis, you're going to be fine. Everything is fine. Now, I want you to go forward in time to later that night. You're now at the hospital. Tell me what's happening.
Very noisy. Lots of people shouting. It's so loud. That's better.
Up it to 300. Charge. Clear. Nothing. Going again. Stand by. Charge. Clear. What's going on with the lights?
I'm leaving myself. It's over.
Describe what you're seeing.
I'm floating high above everyone. Part of me is outside myself, watching myself. The light is so beautiful. It's getting brighter, blinding me.
What's happening? Goodbye, Curtis. Goodbye, Curtis. Wish you luck.
He's gone.
What do you mean he's gone?
The doctor saved me, but I'm still... part of me, not me, but... I'm still out there somewhere. And
And what?
He's taken something from me. From my mind. Something he shouldn't have.
Suffering from select amnesia, I could not access his profile of the White Crow killer. Seemed to have vanished completely from his mind. Secondly, he described a near-death experience. Now, that in itself is not unheard of, but the notion of his corporeal self duplicating.
And now we have at least 2 reported sightings in the city of someone matching Curtis's description.
Not to mention the hospital security tape. Is it possible he could have just wandered out of his room and not told anybody?
He's been under security watch and hooked up to heart monitors since he was admitted.
I suppose Rollins could have a twin somewhere.
Oh, he would have told us about something like that.
Well, we just have to treat him like any other subject.
That's extremely difficult to do, Connor.
Tell me about it. Excuse me. Where can we find Dr. Burr?
Her office is down at the end of the hall. She should still be there. I dropped off some charts to her about an hour ago.
Thank you. Key seems to be what Rollins went through in the trauma room. I want to hear Dr. Burr's version of the events again. Case file update. A witness to the events, Dr. Catherine Burr, was apparently abducted sometime between 9 and 10 this morning.
A rag doused in chloroform was found on the floor, and that is the killer's signature phrase, complete with feather. Let's face it, the White Crow killer is still alive.
The feather will be sent out for analysis, but I'll bet it's just like the others.
A crow feather?
Except crows are black, as far as I know.
Why a white crow feather?
Crows are sometimes perceived as symbolic bridges to the afterlife. If you wish to upset the law that all crows are black, you must not seek to show that no crows are. It's enough to prove a single crow to be white.
William James, very good, Professor.
Our killer may have discovered a white crow.
A symbolic bridge. Look, what's different about this crime scene?
The handwriting. It's a good try, but it doesn't look like an exact match.
So, this could be a copycat crime or the work of an accomplice?
No, the killer's MO was that he worked alone. Besides, this signature phrase was never released to the public.
No appointment scheduled for today.
Doesn't appear to be any sign of a struggle either. Dr. Burr may have known her abductor.
Or at least got a look at him. Her desk faces the door.
Wait a minute.
What is it?
There.
Very clear. Looks like our feathered friend left us a thumbprint.
This could be the break we've been waiting for.
Yeah?
Some kids were throwing rocks when they found it. Forbes. Dr. Stanley Forbes. Early on, he was a prime suspect for the White Crow. He's our man.
Are you sure?
Well, the slugs they dug out of Rollins last night matched the bullets found on the previous 7 victims. And we found shells on them. 9mm. They're consistent with the White Crows.
Looks like Dr. Forbes here has been dead for a couple of days.
Which begs the question, who abducted Dr. Catherine Burr?
Jim, could I have a word? There's a possibility that one of our operatives
Okay. Those fingerprints we lifted from the doctor's office?
Let me guess. They match Curtis Rollins.
Case log update. We have reason to believe that someone resembling Curtis Rollins is imitating the crime pattern established by the White Crow killer. Environmental monitoring and surveillance phase to be initiated immediately.
Special Agent Kirkland is feeling some pressure from above.
How so?
As far as his superiors are concerned, Rollins is now a suspect in the abduction of Dr. Catherine Burr. Now, he doesn't think it's possible, but professionally it would be his duty to investigate. Now, due to the personal regard he has for Curtis, he bought us a couple of days. Get to the bottom of this.
What are you thinking?
Well, if we can assume the White Crow killer will act consistently, and the apparent Rollins duplicate is continuing with the killer's agenda.
Then we have until Thursday to find Dr. Burr alive.
Catherine, I want you to relax. As I'm lowering your body temperature to 33 degrees Celsius, I'm going to induce cardiac arrest via an injection of potassium, in effect, killing you. Because your blood is being cooled, Brain damage should be minimal, but I don't have to tell you that. After several minutes, I'll raise your body temperature and hopefully resuscitate you. And then we'll talk again.
Why are you doing this to me? You were dead. I saved your life.
Exactly. And that's why you, of all my subjects, should be able to tell me what I want to hear.
You're crazy.
And now, we wait.
This is the videotape that was found on Dr. Forbes after they dragged him from the river. He'd wrapped it in plastic and addressed it to Rollins.
Obviously, he wanted someone to find it.
Focus, Darnell.
The victim is Darnell Jenks. He was a drug dealer from the East Side. His body was found 2 weeks ago, 3 days after this tape was made.
He's essentially killed Jenks and now is bringing him back to life. Why?
Listen.
Will we be punished for our sins? Is there life after death for the likes of you and me? What did you see?
I don't know.
What did you see?
It was dark. I don't know. What do you want to hear?
What did you see? What did you see?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, Catherine. I understand. I realize I'm asking a lot of you. I had hoped that as a medical person, a good person, you would provide me with a better class of observation. Maybe you weren't away from us long enough to truly discover what awaits one after death. You take a little break and then try again.
No! No!
Nothing! I saw nothing! There isn't anything out there! You disappoint me.
What are you doing?
You can't stop me, Doyle. Don't even try.
Like it or not, Curtis, you're the primary subject. You're under FBI scrutiny as well. Besides, you're in no shape.
I can do the job.
Once you recover.
Look, I don't like being left out of what's going on. I don't like being examined. I don't like being probed. And I don't...
What?
I don't like how things are progressing.
We're moving as quickly and as deliberately as we can.
There's someone out there who appears to be me in every way, who may be killing people. It's my life that's on the line.
That's why I'm on the case.
Can I help?
Yes. What makes this guy tick? Why does he do what he does? What's his next move?
Don't you think I would tell you if I knew? That part of my mind is a blank. It's gone.
Then you'll have to refamiliarize yourself with the case. Here's the file. You're a behavioral scientist. You have that skill. Use it.
How's he doing?
Well, we're about to find out. What is it?
Physical and psychological trauma that Rollins has suffered. I'm concerned as to whether he'll ever be able to effectively lead an investigation again.
I'm aware of that possibility, sir. But we need his help.
Understood.
Special Agent Kirkland can't stall his superiors much longer. How are you planning to proceed?
Rollins at 4. Curtis has reviewed the evidence collected by the feds and watched the videotape. He has some theories.
Dr. Forbes was looking for definitive knowledge about the afterlife.
To what end?
He was obsessed with looking for the answer he wanted.
But apparently his experiments failed. He's killed 7 innocent people.
Not so innocent. In Forbes' eyes, these were people that were essentially evil. He chose them because they represent part of the answer. However, Dr. Catherine Burr doesn't fit the pattern.
But if your duplicate abducted her, and he now has the mind of the White Crow killer, perhaps it's some form of revenge.
Revenge?
Maybe she wasn't supposed to bring Rollins back from the dead.
Look, theories are getting us nowhere. How are we going to locate Curtis's double?
Curtis, you okay?
Come on, let's get you back to the hospital.
Case log update. Continue to sweep the city and try to locate the apparent duplicate. Have established environmental monitoring and surveillance at the hospital. Subject is resting and remains under observation.
We're standing by, Connor. Nothing to report. Over.
Copy that. Any word from the other surveillance sites?
Negative. Should we reevaluate our sweep approach?
Not yet. Let's give it to the end of the day. Doyle out. Curtis. Surprised to see you up and around.
Thanks.
What's the matter, Curtis? Donner, who gave Rollins permission to leave his room?
He is in his room, Connor. He hasn't left it all day. There must be some mistake.
Target is in East Wing. Surround the area.
Nice and slow, my friend.
Where are you taking me?
One thing at a time. Let's just get outside.
Put the scalpel down. Slowly. Do it now!
Case log update. After successfully apprehending Curtis Rollins' duplicate, We're proceeding with tests to try to determine how and why this phenomenon took place. An additional note, Dr. Catherine Burr has yet to be located. Doyle out.
It's remarkable. They're physically identical in every way, other than the wounds Curtis received from being shot on the bridge.
And their separate personalities. Rollins had compiled a detailed profile of Dr. Forbes, a.k.a. the White Crow Killer. And somehow the near-death experience transferred that profile to his duplicate self. And the duplicate himself, in effect, has become the White Crow Killer.
Forbes's mind in Roland's body.
Any theories as to how the duplication occurred, or why the profile went with the duplicate?
Perhaps he subconsciously was motivated by a desire to uncover whatever Dr. Forbes had discovered about the afterlife.
And the only part of his mind that would be able to achieve that discovery would be the profile of Forbes.
Exactly. Somehow he subconsciously manifested a corporeal duplication of himself, imbued with that memory.
Well, what do you suppose Dr. Forbes discovered about life after death?
That would remain with Dr. Forbes, or Rollins' duplicate.
Or with Rollins himself.
I was dead, and now I'm alive. Sounds bizarre to hear me say those words, doesn't it?
That's what happened.
I feel I should be different. Am I different?
Only you can answer that. Something did happen to you while you were clinically dead.
What exactly?
It may have been some timeline convergence which intertwined the distinct physical elements of two parallel dimensions. Your near-death experience may have propelled an alternate life existence into the here and now. However, we have no idea what might happen
if those two parallel dimensions converge.
We need your help. Talk to him, one-on-one.
I don't know.
Catherine Burr may still be alive. You're her only hope.
Professor Rollins, good to see you again. Where is she? Direct as always. Dr. Burr. I can't tell you that. You should understand that better than anyone. Why would I understand abducting an innocent person and subjecting them to horrible experiments? Your mind understands more of that kind of thing than you'd care to admit. Plus, doesn't it intrigue you? I know it intrigues you. What does life after death hold for us? Where did this happen? Why have I duplicated into you? I'm part of you. We had to complete my work. It's so simple. The part of me and you realized when you were dying that I was going about it all wrong. I was using the wrong subjects. Evil people. Unprincipled, immoral, waste. But when that angel of a doctor saved you, we realized she was the key. She would have the answer. You and I did this together. But there is no answer, is there? You found nothing. That's not true. Yes, it is, Dr. Forbes. You've searched and searched. You've killed people. And all for nothing. My work is not for nothing. Then why did you commit suicide throwing yourself off that bridge? Because I can't believe that the answer is you're better off dead than alive. Stop. You are a failure. All your work is for nothing. No. No. No! Okay?
Where'd he go? He's gone. Curtis, who am I?
Still Connor Doyle, I hope.
He's gone back into you. Go to that part of your mind. Where is Dr. Catherine Burr?
No. I can't go there.
You did it. She's back.
Catherine, can you hear me?
Get away from me. You sick son of a bitch.
Dr. Burr, it's okay. We're here to help. File number 206132, final log entry. Dr. Catherine Burr is on her way to a successful physical recovery, although her experience left her emotionally shaken. Curtis Rollins is also showing no apparent ill effects. Doyle out.
The complex links between body and mind are only now beginning to be understood, and we still have more questions than answers. Somehow, an exact physical copy of case manager Curtis Rollins was generated in the instant of his near-death experience. Furthermore, the corporeal duplicate presence absorbed the memory which was foremost in his mind at the moment of trauma, that of a serial killer he'd been tracking with near-deadly results. Is there life after death? The search for the answer continues. I'm Dan Aykroyd for Psi Factor.